So for today's topic, we will be going over one of the bigger like trends in health and wellness today. I guess it's been going on for a while now, but it's the cold plunge. The cold plunge. A lot of people do it. I haven't like plunged myself into it yet, but maybe one day. But somebody who does is right here, Bryan.
Hello,
But
folks.
anyways, before we
My
get
name
into
is
that,
Bryan. Shut up, dude. Shut
yeah.
up. Okay, when I'm talking, you shut your freaking mouth. Okay. Hey, hello, everybody. Again, I know my mom's watching this, so shout out my mom. Probably the only person watching this. So yeah, I'm a big advocate for cold plunges. So did you have any questions for that, Omar?
No, I'm just gonna go into a little bit background of the cold plunge, a little history. Okay, you know, it dates back to like the BC era, but
Yep.
whenever it really got started studying, it was around the 1970s, dude. Can you believe that? Or maybe 60s. It was probably 60s. But anyways, either way, tell us about some of the great benefits it has.
Some of the great benefits it has, of course, I take it in the morning, so it helps me wake up. You know, who needs a cup of Joe when you get a nice cold plunge? And also it helps me with my alertness throughout the day. It helps me stay focused a lot more, and then prepares me. I know some people say, "Oh, you probably should do it before you work out," but it prepares me for my workout as well. Because for me, I feel like it gets the blood flowing and gets the heart rate up already. And of course, before I work out, I still gotta warm up and all that good stuff. But like I said, the main thing for me is I do it for my mental health. It's just staying underwater, and just staying in the water for as long as I can. Not really as long as I can. Probably, I usually max 5 minutes, and then about 3 minutes, And I make sure every other minute I dunk my head underwater, just to make sure I get that little rush again.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I read about too, because obviously, I mean, my experience with the cold plunge was during a tough mudder when we had to go into this ice bath or whatever and then go out of it or whatever. But that initial reaction is shock. The body's like, "What are you doing, bud? This is too cold." But that's one of the things that it does. It kind of helps you with resiliency. That's what I was reading about. Because if you toughen it through, and Brian doing like 5 minutes, dude, sheesh, man, 5 minutes. If you think about it, dude, throughout the day, what other like craziness are you gonna go through than being freaking frozen pretty much for 5 minutes? I feel like you
Well, for
kind
me,
of
can I interrupt you on that one? So for me, again, like
go
I
ahead.
said, that just helps me again with my mental health, because like I said, for you or for anybody else, 5 minutes it's 5 minutes, but for somebody who deals with anxiety on a daily basis, just making a trip, somewhere can feel like a lifetime for me, So that really helps me just kind of calm down and be present and just kind of just breathe it out. And like I said, that 5 minutes, it does feel like a while, but it really helps me throughout the day on just staying focused and being present and just breathing through whatever anxiety or whatever I'm feeling.
Yes, sir, and that's what I was kind of getting to is like throughout the day, kind of like shows you a little bit of like, dude, I can calm down if I can handle that cold plunge. Like I can, my body's like your nervous system is more relaxed and it's not in that uh fight or flight mode. It's more relaxed because it's used to more of that. So yeah, that's definitely a good benefit for that. Uh, AJ, what do you think, dude? Have you ever done one before?
I used to take them like during wrestling when I was in high school and stuff, like every now and then. But we had a trainer, one of our mat mates. I told her before practice. It was during season. We were going hard all week. It was like a Friday or something like that. And I said, "Hey, can you do me a favor and have an ice bath ready whenever by the time we get done with practice?" I was like, it's gonna be a hard one. I was like, I just want to get in there and get out because recovery and everything. I didn't really know much about them back then. Besides, it helps with like soreness and stuff like that. So we go through the practice. It was a real kick in the nuts. We did our thing, and then we come out. And I'm like, "Yo," I'm not gonna say her name because if she watches this, I don't want to.
Linda.
I was like, "Yo, is that ice bath ready?" And then she was like, "Yeah, no, it's ready for you whenever you go ahead." I was like, "All right, cool." So I go into the showers where our ice bath was, and we had like a horse trough, like a water trough kind of thing, like a big metal one, and she had filled it completely to the top with just ice, nothing else. And so like I kind of like just stuck my hand in there. I was like, maybe the ice is just thick, all the way to the bottom, it's full of ice. So I'm like, dude, what the is going on? Like, I want an ice bath. She's like, yeah, that's what I did. And I was like, no,
Literally an ice full
you
of.
gotta put water in the thing. It's a bath. And she was like, oh, I didn't know. And I was like, how long have you been a trainer for? And you don't know what an ice bath is? And so like that kind of ticked my ticker for a little bit. Anyways, that was like really like probably the only time I've ever taken one. That was the last time I tried to take one, actually. But the old man, he does them. He loves them. He does it before he goes golfing and everything. Um, Bryan does them. He loves them. I want to do it, but it's just like having the cojones to actually get in there because it's freaking cold.
It is cold.
So, but maybe I'll start because staying at dad's now, so now I got the chance to.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
My bad. I had to put myself on mute because it was the kids
You're
getting
farting.
put to bed,
You're
so
farting.
they're partying, dude. They're partying, so I had to put it on the DL. But yeah, and there's another thing that I feel like, especially once people get older and stuff like that, we have a lot of joints issues and stuff like that. With ice baths, it helps with inflammation,
Yep.
so it helps circulate blood and stuff like that. But me and Bryan were having a good conversation, and and we talked to other people about this, but the timing of the ice bath, like, and there was a lot of good reasons why you should do it before or after a workout, and I seen why it's beneficial after your workout and why it's beneficial before and why you should wait like a few hours after. But Bryan, what do you think about that one?
So right now, um, I first started off with doing it after my workouts because of course I would hit I would go work out, hit the sauna, and then do the ice bath, and that seemed to be pretty good. But then of course I was it was brought to my attention like, hey bud, I would recommend by Dr. C, shout out Dr. C, uh, to do the ice baths before you work out because he watched that Dr. Huberman and watched that whole listen to his whole podcast there about it, and I really feel like first of all if you wake up and do the ice bath first thing, I mean that's already going to help out tremendously, and that's when I work out now. So for me, like I said, I'm trying it the other way this week just to change it up a little bit, but I feel like it has been more beneficial to do it first thing in the morning before your workout. And yeah,
So
for a little bit, your body is cold. But again, just like anything else, you got to go to the gym and you got to get warmed up. Make sure. I usually walk for 10 minutes, and then I'll go stretch, and then by then your body's all warmed up and the blood's flowing again, and you're good to work out. Like I said, it has. I really haven't noticed anything negative
okay.
from doing it in the mornings and going into a workout.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Was there like something different that you noticed with like switching it from before and after, or do you think there's going to be a difference?
That's kind of what I've been watching or trying to look out for this week is just seeing. And honestly, I think mentally it helps me more as well when I do it before and I'm going to the gym because, like you said, I already put myself through that.
Oh yeah,
That
man, that's
situation.
true. That's true.
Whenever you go to the gym, that situation that I was just in, pretty much, I just did that. You already did that kind of shock the body. So now you're working out and it's like, well, this ain't shit. So now, like I said this morning, when I went to work out, dude, I was telling AJ, I was sweating, and my mind just started getting away from it too. But then once I got back here, and then I did the sauna and I did the ice bath, again I kind of calmed back down and was present in a way. And so again, I just feel like for me, so far beneficial, or it's been beneficial to me to do it first thing in the morning just to get the mind right.
Yeah, and also there was some stuff talked about where if obviously whenever you get injured and stuff like that, you want to ice it down to kind of decrease inflammation and stuff like that. But in a sense, whenever you're working out, you want that inflammation. That's why some people recommend doing it hours after or maybe even the day after to help those muscles kind of break down, keep going through that process so they can keep building. And that's the recent stuff that I was listening to or and reading into, and I was like, dude, that makes sense. Because if you're trying to, if it's certain goals that you have, like building muscle, then maybe it's not as beneficial to do it after, right after. But if you are like really sore or something like that, maybe it is like in that term, like in that sense, it'd be more beneficial to get an ice bath after just to help decrease that inflammation.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I
What
said,
do you
if
think
you're doing
about that, AJ?
Well, like if you think about like actually like working
What'd you say?
out and like just like the like what your body does when it, like you're literally like uh, tearing the muscle fibers and everything, and like you're breaking down your muscles so that they can grow back bigger. So that makes sense to wait, you know, however long until you actually hop in. To me, at least, I don't know. Science.
So I just wanted to go over a couple things that probably, well, for my case, why I don't have a ice bath. A couple things that will probably be easily fixed and stuff like that. But for my instance, it's like finding the place to put it. You know what I mean? Because whenever you get in an ice bath and you get out, like you don't want to be like straight in the outside and then you got to travel inside and because it's like especially if you're doing it in the morning, you're already struggling. Like it just makes it another kind of barrier to kind of overcome. But
I think that's a
then
bad
I was
excuse.
thinking, if you haven't like, what'd you say?
I think that's a bad excuse because if you watch like, I don't know if you know who
I'm
Nick
just,
Bear
I'm
is
just,
from. He owns BPN and everything. If you watch his YouTube videos, his is outside, and he thinks of it as a just like another obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
Just like whether it's hot or cold outside,
that's what I'm
and then
saying.
even then, not necessarily an obstacle, but like a just like that. That's his spot
a necessity
for where he goes, and that's just where he thinks like his wife, his kids don't really come out and bother him or anything. That's just him. Rather than having in the house,
Yeah, yeah,
where the little rugrats can come down there and start bugging you and whatever. He has his
true.
sauna and cold tub outside. Same thing with like Joe Rogan and all those big name guys that actually know a lot more about it and stuff.
Bryan Torres, just the bigger names.
Yours is in a shed, so that doesn't really count.
Yeah, just the bigger names to throw them out there.
But at the same time, the shed kind of still like puts you in a like more isolated environment where you're not getting bothered and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, I
So
used to have it outside under the carport, but since it's 100 degrees, plus out
yeah,
here right
see,
now, ain't no way
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put some
That's what I'm
ice there
saying. That's what I'm
at a.
saying.
So right now the best. Well, you could put it in your garage, because honestly, the one I got right here
Yeah,
is
that's what
not.
I was.
So you could honestly just put it in your garage and just have a little uh, a mat there, and it really is not that messy because you got. I usually would do
Yeah,
mainly my boxers, but you can use your swimming trunks. Wear your swimming trunks and then freaking bring your towel because you're gonna have a towel and then just freaking dry off right there.
true.
It's really
Yeah,
not that messy of
and
a
then
thing.
yeah, we did talk about that.
Yeah,
What'd you say?
it's really not that messy or of a hassle. I don't think it is, but for me, it's
Okay.
just something I do. It's more of a routine thing for me now.
Yeah, yeah. That's what. Yeah, if it's something that you want to do, yeah, you got to implement into your routine. Because if you just use it one time, then not again, it's just gonna be sitting there. But yeah, that's definitely got to be a routine. So whenever you're doing these, is there a certain temperature that you want it at, and what's usually like the time frame that you would that you hear or are recommended for
What do
to
you
get the
mean
best
by that?
benefits
A time frame? What do you mean by time frame?
Like, how long are you in there?
Is that what you mean? Okay, you
weekly?
guys not
Yeah, yeah.
you not paying attention, or you just a typical paparazzi? 5 minutes, 5 minutos.
So you would recommend everybody to go in there for 5 minutes? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I would, but
That's a
so what the main thing I would recommend you doing is doing it.
yeah.
You know, just doing it. If it's just dumping in there and then jumping out, you're doing it. If you're just going in there for 30 seconds, a minute, 3 minutes, for me, 5 minutes is the max that I would do. Because from what I've read and seen, if you do it more than 5 minutes, it's really kind of, I wouldn't say pointless, but there's not as much benefits from it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
said, the max I do is, I guess 3 minutes could be a good for, 3 minutes would be an equal medium there for folks. But the biggest thing is just, like I said, for me, if you just do it, that's what I recommend doing.
That's what I think when Dad does his, keeps his at like 45 degrees. He has like an actual like freezer and everything, but he keeps his
45.
at 45, and I think he stays in there for 5 minutes. But he says if he stays in there any longer than like 10 or 15, he starts getting like really bad headaches throughout the day, and like like he feels like it hurts him more than anything in the long run if he stays in there longer than those 5 to 10 minutes. I forget how long exactly he says.
And believe it or not, 45 is not that cold.
Yeah.
That's a higher one. Yeah. I really don't know what
Well,
mine is.
let me just.
I don't have a temperature thingy to check my
Thermometer.
thermometer. I don't have a temperature thing to check my thermometer.
Yeah, yeah. I got you. You don't got a temp probe. So let me just tell you what I hear is recommended, or what I read was recommended. Usually it says well, for like the best benefits or whatever, 11 minutes a week. So you can split that up however you want throughout the week. Is where they found like the most benefits, you know, in these studies, and also 60 degrees for the temperature of the water, and then slowly decreasing that throughout time.
That doesn't seem like it's that.
Fahrenheit.
Yeah, that
That's what
seems
I was like.
warm. That
If
seems
you
like
think about 60
Yeah,
degrees
I know.
outside, that's like perfect weather.
that's like a perfect tub.
Yeah.
You're just hopping in a tub right now.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, and then that is another thing too. Is starting
I'm
off
telling
like
you.
warmer. It's okay to start off warm, like 60 degrees, and then going down periodically to, let's say, 55.
Is Let me check.
I'm telling you. You ain't gotta check nothing. I'm telling you. These are facts.
Yeah. Well, right here it says 50 to 59 degrees. So yeah,
I don't
that's
know
what it was.
if I completely agree with that. I gotta be honest with you.
Bruh, studies, research,
Well,
science.
Google is not research. What do you recommend doing? That's not research. Okay,
All
Jamie?
right. All right. This is
Dude, when
off
I
of
got
the
you
National Institute
on, Brad, just listen to me. Alright? That's all the information right there.
all right.
no, but
Just
really,
gotta
like if
fact
you
check you guys.
like the purpose of a cold tub, a cold plunge, whatever you ice bath, whatever you want to call it, it's to be cold. So having
Yeah.
it at 60 to 55 degrees, whatever, like that doesn't seem that cold. But I also could be wrong because, like I said, I haven't really done one in 6, 7 years. So,
This-
but
So
like if like you like pay attention, not really pay attention, but like if you just watch, like the guys that actually do them, like like the high fitness or not fitness, like athletes, whatever, like theirs are pretty freaking cold, like between 45 and 32 degrees, like in that range. Which I know, like 32 degrees is literally freezing, so that's an extreme to
Yeah.
hop in on your first time going. So like, wean yourself down a little bit, but still, like, I don't know, those temperatures don't seem low enough.
And I will uh, intervene into that. So again,
Caveat.
it doesn't matter the temperature to me. Just do it. Just do it. 60 degrees,
Yeah.
I'm
And
cool with it.
I was about to say, as long as it's that uncomfortable zone and your body knows it's like in a different place, it's kind of overcoming those obstacles through that cold plunge is like the biggest thing that the cold plunge is kind of aiming towards. It's not necessarily how cold, but it does have to be cold to an extent, obviously. But it's not like a set temperature, I guess you would say. But overall, yeah, good
Yeah,
information, guys. The
I
freaking
guess it's
cold
just
plunge.
getting down to what you're comfortable with
I gotta get me one.
Or what you're uncomfortable with.
or
Yeah.
uncomfortable, whatever you're most
Boom.
comfortable being uncomfortable
Boom.
in.
There it is.
Push yourself. Don't be a ween.
So, Bryan, if you could do us a favor, get you a dang temp probe and check out how cold that bitty gets. All right,
Okay, can we charge this to
do it.
the?
Just do
Can we
it.
charge this to the podcast bill or something?
We got a company card or something.
This is for research
It's already
purposes.
it's already in it's already in debt, but go ahead, put it on the tab. Put it on the tab.
Roger that. Get out there, do something, get up, move around, get that blood flowing. I'm just a big fan of anybody being active or trying to, live an active lifestyle or improving their lifestyle in any type of way. And that's all about making that first step of getting off your ass, get up, and get active.
Get active. Go do stuff.